A positive correlation has been found between the amount of soot in the atmosphere of cities and the frequency of a certain ailment among those cities' populations. Yet again, what do we have?
Correlation.
Correlation. And they say it for us too, right? So does that mean that one causes the other? Nope. Let's take a look. However, the soot itself probably does not cause this ailment. See how if you engage with these things, you can almost see where they're going to go? And if they go in a different direction, you can be surprised and know exactly what the problem is. That's exactly what happened with the glutamate thing, because it was like if, and we're like, if. What does that mean? Nothing. In any case, since in cities where there are large amounts of soot in the air, there are usually also high concentrations of many other air pollutants. So is this person proving that it is not a cause?
No,
No, he's
just saying there might be other causes.
There might be other causes. Yeah, so the soot itself probably does not cause this ailment. That's actually a little too strong. I think it would be better to say might not cause this ailment. Because saying probably, you're saying it's more likely than not that it did not cause, right? And, I mean, maybe that's okay, because if there are high concentrations of many other air pollutants, then the probability that this one is the cause might be lower, right? Since the chances are it's something else, because there are more things that it could be. Then again, these things are not mutually exclusive. Maybe they all cause, right? Anyways, I don't know. The point is that this argument's okay. Which one of the following statements, if true, most weakens the argument? Well, if we knew that those other pollutants were not causes, then that would seriously weaken this argument. Are you guys cool with that? Was that our prediction? Yes?
Yeah.
Chaz, yes?
I think mine was slightly different.
What was your prediction?
I predicted that if in a city where there's not pollutants and soot, there's pollution, then that could like weaken the argument.
Wait, a city where there's not pollutants?
Not other pollutants, but there is soot.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Still high levels of.
Yeah. So that's more of a scientific way of showing that those things might not be the cause.
Yeah.
That it really is the soot that's the cause. Yeah, that's great. So you had a question on this one?
No.
No, you felt good about it.
Yeah.
Okay, who had a question about this?
I do.
Okay.
So I have a question on question choice B.
Okay. If the ailment rarely occurs except in cities in which there are large amounts of soot in the air, then the soot is probably the cause of the ailment. Well,
this is kind of like an unconventional way, question type, right? Because usually we have just premises that hurt the conclusion, but here we have like an argument.
no, these are all premises.
Oh,
This is a premise too.
okay.
It's an if-then statement. I know it's weird. It's an if-then statement, but here's the question for B. Is the if clause true? Is it true that the ailment rarely occurs? I can't say that word for some reason. Ailment, right? If the ailment rarely occurs except in cities in which there are large amounts of soot in the air, is that true? Does it rarely occur except where there's large amounts of soot in the air? We know there's a positive correlation between what? The amount of soot in the air
An ailment.
and the ailment. How is there large amounts? I mean, it means the amount of soot, as the amount of soot goes up, the incidence of the ailment goes up.
Yeah.
But could it be possible that there's not very much of either? Yeah, so this large amounts thing is throwing me off. I I would keep it open. It seems like that if clause is possible, but I don't know if that if clause is being triggered. And if it's not triggered, then the then clause doesn't exist.
Yeah,
As far as
so
we know.
I chose B as well, and the reason why is because, so I thought you're thinking, like, oh, well, like, is that even triggered? But the question says if true, so from that I assume that
All the answers are true. That's absolutely right. But this answer says itself, if this event occurs, then this other event occurs. That says nothing about whether either of those events will occur.
oh, so it's just unrelated.
Yeah, so tell me this. Is this claim true? If if the sun explodes tomorrow, we will die. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ, you're hesitating way too long.
Well, yeah, I was trying to see if it was like a long argument.
Okay, that's good. You're like, I've been so jaded by this test. Is there a slight possibility we could survive? Maybe with Elon Musk, right? Maybe, yeah, maybe so. How about this? If the sun explodes tomorrow, will we eventually die?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Even though that claim is true, it says nothing about whether the sun will explode tomorrow or whether we will eventually die, because we don't know whether either of those clauses is true. Like, we know that the whole clause is true. We know that the if-then statement is true.
Yeah.
But the if-then statement is a conditional statement saying, hey, if this thing happens, then this other thing will happen. We're like, yes, that is so true. If that thing happens, this other thing will happen. But we have no idea whether that first thing will happen or not.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with answer choice B. So even though it says, which one of the following statements, if true, most weakens the argument, we say, well, if it's true that if the ailment rarely occurs except in cities in which there are large amounts of soot, then da-da-da-da-da, I'm still like, well, is that true that the ailment rarely occurs except in the cities where there are large amounts of soot? I mean, it might occur in cities that have not large amounts, but more than 0. Chaz? No question, just contemplating.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, I don't feel great about this answer because I don't know if the if clause is ever triggered. Are you cool with that, JJ?
Yeah.
So the others.
C.
C. In each of the cities where there are large amounts of soot in the air, but little other air pollution, the frequency of the ailment is at least as high as it is anywhere else. So the other things go away, and the ailment persists. That suggests that the other things are not super relevant. How do you feel about that, Alex?
I have to think about this a little more.
Okay, what do you feel like C is saying?
The frequency level is at least as high as it is anywhere else.
At least as high.
Mm.
So that means what?
They're the same.
Same or?
Lower. High.
Higher.
Yeah. Because if it's at least as high, then the ailment is just as frequent or more frequent in those cities in which there's a lot of soot but little other air pollution. So you go to some city, has a lot of soot in the air, but it has little of anything else, and the ailment is just as high or higher
Comparing to.
anywhere else where there might be more pollutants. And so since it's just as high or higher in these places that really, I'm going to oversimplify this a little bit, but basically only have soot, that suggests that soot is the cause and not these other things, because we take away these other things and the ailment is just as high or higher. So if you think that it's the other things that are the cause, you'd really have to explain why the heck that ailment is so prevalent in places that don't have those pollutants. Doesn't make sense. All this does is increase the correlation between soot and the ailment by removing alternative explanations. Thus increasing the likelihood that soot is the cause. Cool. Any other
Yeah.
questions on this one?
Yeah, going back to B, could you say that it's also wrong because it says it's probably the cause of the ailment?
No, that's actually a good thing. When it says it's probably the cause, that goes directly against the conclusion which says it's probably not the cause.
Right. Yeah, and I think that was also another factor in choosing it.
Yeah, because you liked the
So I
then
read that
clause.
last and I was like, oh well, that's opposite of what it said.
Yeah, the LSAT does this a lot. They give you the perfect then clause.
Yeah.
But then clauses that are perfect are
Rare.
useless if the if clause is never triggered,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, cool. All right, other questions?